at which point I will wait for Charles Thompson to send me back the converted recording so that I can get it uploaded to Power Resources. But this is recording right now to the cloud. You guys, this is almost the end of August. School has started for some of us, for our kids, and it's crazy in my market because fire season just started. I know you guys probably have hurricane and rain season and snow and sleet and whatever. We get fires here in Northern California, and it's literally raining ash. So
On SoCal.
Yeah, down in SoCal too. So thank you, global warming. Let's do our part to and try to end this with all of the solar that we're helping people put on their rooftops. So you guys, today I want to spend just a few minutes. I'm gonna do about 10-15 minutes going over some new features that have recently rolled out. Just like any new feature day, if you've been with Power for a while, there's always going to be bugs happening on the system when they roll out new features. Thankfully, this happened in the middle of the week and not on a weekend or the very last day of the month. So just be prepared that yes, things we're enhancing the system, and we have made some changes specifically to an inbox kind of messenger. We're calling it Messenger on the power.com platform. So I want to give you guys a short walkthrough on that. I do want to kind of circle back to some tips and tricks that we went over a few sessions back on auto-saving your proposals and saving your proposal properly before you request docs. and things like that. And then, like I said, towards the very end, after LG Chem has a chance to kind of go over their content, we'll try to have some time for Q&A, okay? So again, some of you, if you've logged in today or yesterday, you probably noticed that there's a slightly different look and feel to your lead. And that's because we have stripped out the notes section into two areas, Messenger and Assets. This is a huge feature functionality that we added in here, and I'm going to use a test lead here to show you. This is a huge feature functionality because it does allow you, this is specifically really great to use when you have a post-sales related issue that really needs a response from your project coordinator or from the operations team. Because when you assign an issue to somebody, and again, please do not use this willy-nilly, like only assign an issue to somebody if it truly does need a response. Like if it's your customer can't be at the site survey, or you need to reschedule something on a site survey. So please, again, make sure that you're only using this when you are required, you need a response from somebody. Please don't tag me on items that don't need my direct attention, or please continue to use my email, which is presales@power.com, for those more complicated issues that you might need help on that are pre-sales related. Maybe you're not sure how to have a system designed, or where to put a ground mount, or what's happening in a certain market and you need some additional help. So again, if you're just joining, please stop your video. And then, like I said, this assign an issue, what it's going to do, I'm going to go ahead and assign an issue to myself. So let's say I'm your project coordinator and you're wanting to let me know site survey was late and my customer had to leave. Please help me get this rescheduled. And now you're, again, pretend I'm your project coordinator. When you click send, that is now going to show up for you as an urgent issue or an open issue. For me, as the project coordinator, it's going to show up in my inbox now. So if I go to my inbox, you see how I got a little red notification here that somebody has sent an urgent message to me. Now, again, I'm not going to be going through 2,000 messages. It's just because one of my roles is under sales support. We have a different team that was looking over sales support notes. General notes that are tagging in blue, that are not urgent, are not necessarily going to get a response. It's when they have it tagged as an urgent thing that needs a response. Please help me get this rescheduled. Let's say I called your customer, reached customer, called customer, and have rescheduled site survey for 08/20/2020 at 10 to 12 p.m. Again, remember, when we schedule a site survey with somebody, it's a window, an arrival window. They will not necessarily show up at a specific time. It's usually a window within 2 hours of that time. I go ahead and respond to your message, and then I can resolve the issue. Now that issue is resolved, it falls out of my queue and is no longer showing as an urgent message to me. Again, please do not get crazy on these urgent messages. It really, if we don't see that it's an urgent issue, then we're not necessarily responding to it. As far as I can see, that's what they've been trained to do. We'll have another video go out going over this feature, but again, these notes are now in here. What happens for me though, as an admin, I only see the one note that was assigned to me. If I want to see the whole project, I have to click on the whole project to see the history of notes and any assets. I have a different view than what you will see on your end. On your end, if you have a project, let me go to one of my normal projects. And again, rollout day, everything is super slow, okay? Make sure I have to resort my stuff to submitted because I want to see the most recent stuff at the top of my projects list. Just be aware that right now that's a workaround. If you want to see your most recent projects, make sure you're sorting those under submit. And then I'm just going to go to one. As you can see, this is my view. This is the way you would see it as well as messenger and assets. Assets are where you're going to upload the house design layout, maybe showing where trees are now located. Maybe it's a different view on the satellite. That's also where you would upload your doc sign notice. And again, in here, when you want to alert Invisible, which is now pre-sales, you want to tag pre-sales communication, say please see uploaded assets for doc sign notice, and then just click send. Again, they're trained to go through all inbox notes, and if it requires attention, they're going to respond to it. If it doesn't require attention, they won't. If it's an urgent thing, maybe you have a revision request that's in and you just realize you need to make a quick change to it, make that an urgent issue so that they get notified that it's something that's super urgent on here. Okay, let me go ahead and I'm going to go back out real quick and go over here. It's about 12:10. Give me 1 second so I can pull up the test lead. Again, rollout day, things are taking a little longer than normal to upload, so just be patient with it. All right, I'm going to pause for a second. Let me just take a quick look at the chat window. It looks like Andy's already answered your question, Carol, and I don't see anybody's hands raised. Does anybody have any questions about this? Again, please bear with us. This is a new feature and they are rolling out other features of it, but the basic gist right now that you guys should know is tag an urgent issue to your post sales. Make sure it's your project coordinator that you tag that issue to. If it's something that you require a response on, otherwise it may not get a response. Again, urgent issues are going to get a response and it's going to filter to the top of their inbox. Non-urgent issues, they will get looked at, but they might not get a response. Let's see, I also wanted to just go over briefly what it looks like to hard save a proposal. So you guys, it's very important that you do understand the signing process when it comes to requesting docs. I have asked Solo to include a feature where the sales rep name will and the email, the person that's assigned to that proposal will start showing up on the proposal itself. This is super important because it's happened to a few of our reps here. If you change mentors and you didn't tell us that you changed mentors, the old mentor might have been assigned to that proposal. So you want to make sure that it's the correct mentor assigned to the proposal. All mentors assigned to a lead are the ones that should be assigned to that proposal for when it comes time to request docs. If you're a sales pro or just basically a consultant and you're not using a mentor, you should see your name on those solo proposals when we roll out this feature. If any of you ever see invisible technologies as the sales rep, you need to stop what you're doing and get a revision request in so that we can make sure that the correct person is assigned before you request docs and run loan. So this is a huge new feature that I'm having added to the solo proposals. I'm hoping to see this go live soon. I'll be meeting with Solo tomorrow to discuss timeline on when we can roll this feature out. Again, it'll save a lot of confusion in the long run to where the wrong person was assigned to the proposal, and when you go to request docs, it's not going to the right person. So please be aware that that is coming. Also be aware that you should not be using any special keyboards in the platform. Please do not use anything that has like accents on the letters, because if it gets translated over to your proposal that way, it will create an auto decline on a lot of cases because the system won't be able to read those special characters. So just be aware that you want to use just a normal English keyboard when you're typing in leads into the system. Again, same thing here on docs request. What happens when docs get requested? You're going to run their loan. You're going to do all your loan approvals if you're doing a loan. And then you're going to click on docs request. If you choose name on UB, when you click on this and you choose like account holder name, it's going to overwrite the primary's name. There's some tricks here. Again, go over this with your mentor for requesting docs. Always try to use a different email if there's two people signing the contract. Try not to use the same email for the primary and co-borrower or for the primary and utility account holder. It causes a lot of confusion and people think that they got their contract signed when they actually didn't, because it stacks that same DocuSign into the same thread. So always try to use a different email. I'm not sure who you are, Mr. Reedy. Is there a separate login to create you? No, you are not allowed to discuss or talk to Solo directly. All of your communication for proposal requests, revision requests will happen through the power.com portal. We will create the lead in Solo and get a design made. We always use a max fit design on the best practices for the design team. So I'm thinking that you might be new, so please work with a mentor on your first few projects so that they can walk you through how to utilize the platform. But nobody here is given a direct access to Solo, only a username and login to request documents. Again, docs request, what happens? Put homeowner name as UB and not a cosigner. Put UB holder under someone else's name, but use same email. This definitely does cause some confusion here for your customer, usually when you use the same email for two different people to sign off on. So this will be uploaded to the Power Resources later. When requesting docs, since using a mentor, I will not fill out that portion, correct? Yeah, when you're working with a mentor, you should be going over how to request docs. The mentor is going to be assigned to those proposals, which means the mentor is going to get all notifications on doc sign notices from the Sunlight or LoanPal or whatever finance thing you're doing. The mentor is going to get the install docs first to review and sign off on, and then they will go to the customer once they click finish. So work with your mentor that is assigned to go over that process. So they'll help walk you through it, and they should be showing you how it's done so that you can't be able to, so that you can see how it's done, so that when you are a sales rep yourself, you'll be able to see that. Wally, let me go ahead and I'm gonna just go to my projects and just show you guys, if you have a stage and it's in search function on the projects portal work, I can't find deals when I sort by installed. They should be showing up under everything that you have under installed when you click on stage. It might take a while for it to refresh though. If nothing is showing up, take a screenshot and email support@power.com, as they handle all platform related issues. So again, email support@power.com, but you have to let it sit there and spin for a bit sometimes, because it is functioning a little slower as they're doing rollouts to the system. Installation, the cosigner also needs to sign. If there is a cosigner, you definitely have to have them sign install agreements. So if you have a loan that was done with a primary and a co-borrower, then you have to have the names match on your install agreement as well. So make sure you are including that, Caesar. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I see that Mark has joined us today, and we're going to pause all questions related to this for now, you guys. We'll come back to Q&A at the end. Hey, Mark, let me go ahead and find you on here, and I'm going to make you a co-host. Thank you for joining. Just in time. I just finished all the updates I wanted to go over. So we have a pretty good sized group here. You guys, we have Mark Chandick on the call right now. He is from LG Chem. And again, on Power Resources, if you do a search for LG Chem or just look for that tag, you'll find the various trainings we have done in the past. Mark, it's all yours.
Excellent. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. Okie doke. Let me get my screen then shared and we'll get this thing going. Okay.
I can see your screen.
Perfect. Okie doke. Okay, so if everyone could just keep their mic muted during this quick slideshow. This one's going to be probably about 10-15 minutes of slides, and then we'll do lots of question and answers at the end. I'm sure we're going to have a lot. For those of you who do not know me yet, my name, like Rachel said, is Mark Chandick. I'm a technical sales specialist here at LG Chem. If you guys ever need help with a particular project or question about, your solar and storage system, definitely feel free to shoot me an email. I've worked with a good amount of you guys already, so definitely would love to work with more of you. But today we're going to do a special lesson, actually. So something very exciting that we've announced over the last few weeks is a new inverter from one of our partners, SolarEdge. I'm sure you all are very familiar with SolarEdge. So basically, we're going to cover their 2 new pieces of equipment and the changes this makes to the Resu itself. So let's just waste no time and get into it. So first piece of equipment I want to touch on is their new Energy Hub inverter. So currently, when you want to size and put a battery from LG Chem on a project, you need to use the StoreEdge inverter. This inverter is replacing that. So moving forward, none of your old projects, everything from here on out will be with this. Anything sold in the past is still going to stay StoreEdge. No need to change that. So just want to be clear on that. This is a new inverter. And Rachel, are you going to be handling the chat? I see a few coming in. I think we'll just handle that at the end.
I'm handling it. Yep.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Just want to be sure. But okay, so there's really 3 big benefits here, guys, to the Energy Hub inverter. Number 1 is that we can now oversize up to 200% per inverter. And that just means you can fit a lot more solar panels on one inverter as opposed into the past. Next, we can now power stack these inverters with our batteries. So if you have homeowners looking to run heavier appliances like air conditionings or water pumps, you can now do that if you have enough inverters and enough batteries. Funny story, I'm here in San Jose, California. I actually lost power for the first time since moving out here. So I know very well how important that air conditioning is to these homeowners, especially if you're here in the Bay Area during this really intense heat wave. So very happy that we can now offer that solution using LG Chem batteries with SolarEdge inverters. And then the last big benefit is just the flexibility. So what I love about this inverter is that it's built for their needs today and tomorrow. Anyone who's been selling solar long enough knows that once a homeowner has solar for 4 or 5 years, sometimes their needs change. And right now with storage, whatever you install today, you're pretty limited with just that. But with these solutions, you can easily add more solar or more batteries later as those needs change. Now let's touch on the next piece of equipment. So again, I said there's 2 new pieces of equipment here. The other one is their new backup interface. If anyone here has ever sold Tesla, this is very much like Tesla's gateway, okay? So the backup interface is known as a microgrid interconnection device, or an MID. That just means this is what is allowing the system to stay on and kind of create its own grid if the power outage ever occurs. So how this is beneficial is that it can support a 200 amp main service panel. So you'd have fewer upgrades from 200 to 400 amps. You also can now avoid pulling circuits for particular appliances that might be hard to access. So if you have a homeowner that wanted to back up a particular room, but the circuit for that room is all the way inside the home and in their pantry on a sub panel, Right now, that's really difficult to price out. But with this, we no longer have to worry about that. So it just means there's more savings overall. And then the really awesome thing here at the end is that we can connect up to 3 inverters to one backup interface. And each of those inverters can handle 2 LG Chem resos. So if you stacked enough inverters and enough batteries, you can now offer up to 27.3 kilowatts of continuous power and up to 60 kilowatt hours of energy storage. So now we can start to explore more full home backup solutions if the homeowner is interested in that. So kind of comparing it today, with storage, like I said, we're kind of limited. In this example, I have 2 storage inverters and 1 reso on each storage inverter. Anyone who's done my trainings, you know that each storage is 5 kilowatts of continuous power. So if I had 2 today, that means I would have 5 kilowatts of power, right? Actually, no. This is where the limitation comes into play. When we have 2 inverters now, we are not power stacking with storage. We're still limited to whatever each inverter can do individually. We have all the capacity we need, but we really want to be able to use that capacity for more robust things. So today, if you had 2 Energy Hub inverters and 2 resos, now you would have that 10 kilowatts of power, and you'll still have the same amount of storage. We can just use that storage for different things now. So again, this is scalable. So this is going to be someone looking for 10 kilowatts of power, 20 kilowatt hours of storage. Probably someone who's looking to power, I don't know, most of the things in their home besides any kind of big appliance. What if you have a homeowner that wants 40 kilowatt hours of storage and they still need the same amount of power? Well, again, you can now offer that. Maybe you have a homeowner that wants 15 kilowatts of power. So power, again, is what you can run or what you can start with your solar and storage system. So if you have someone who needs a lot of power, that just means they're trying to run more things. And again, we can now scale up to 30 kilowatt hours, or hey, let's just go all the way. Let's look at 6 batteries, 60 kilowatt hours of storage. Is this gonna be what we recommend you lead with and try and shove down all your homeowners' throats? No, but you can have this solution if you need it. And that's the real benefit here, guys, is that this Energy Hub and backup interface opens the door to this conversation. Whereas in the past, if you wanted to use an LG Chem battery, all you could offer them was the bare essentials. So let's kind of jump into now, okay, how do I determine how many batteries and inverters are needed? I do want to be very clear that I have lots of little cheat sheets to make this much easier, but we're going to kind of go into more of a, if we want to do a deep dive into doing this. So just do your best to follow me here. But let's take a refresher back to some of my old lessons. Anyone here that's done those knows that the power rating of my battery, that tells me what I can use. The energy rating tells me how long I can use it. So what you want to be thinking moving forward is anything that has to do with power, anything that has to do with kilowatts, think number of inverters. And anything that has to do with how long they want to run those things, think number of batteries. So there you go. When you need more power, increase the number of inverters. When you need more energy, so you need more storage, increase the number of batteries. Keep them separate. So step number 1 of determining how many batteries and inverters am I going to need. It's the same step as before. We need to understand, number 1, what is the homeowner trying to back up with their batteries? So get a list of either the appliances or a general, like that they say, like, 3 rooms. The better thing to do is to get specific appliances that they're running, like we've done here. Understand how much power each of these appliances use. The power rating of an appliance is how many watts or kilowatts that appliance uses every single hour. And we need to understand that to make sure we have enough inverters to start these appliances. So step number 1, list the appliances out, understand how much power they use, and add that up. So in this example, we have 4.6 kilowatts. Okay, step 1. Step number 2, ask your homeowner, how long do you want to run these appliances? We at LG Chem recommend you probably try to get this to about 8 to 10 hours of duration. Why am I not doing 24 hours? Well, that's because during the daytime, the solar system is actually what's powering these appliances, not the batteries necessarily. It's only in the evening when we're not getting any solar production because there's no sun that the batteries are delivering all the energy needed. So 8 to 10 hours, that's the evening when they're sleeping. That's what you want to go for. So step 2, how long? Okay, we know what the power is now. We know how long they want to run these. Step number 3, how many batteries do I need? It's actually a really, really easy formula. You just take the power, so this example, 4.6 kilowatts of appliances, and they want to run these for 10 hours. So multiply the power by the time, and that tells you how much capacity you need to do this. So in this example, we got 46 kilowatt hours of storage, and we can offer that with 4 to 5 Resu home batteries. No problem whatsoever. So step number 5, just offer the equipment needed. So in this, actually real quick, got ahead of myself. First cheat sheet for all of you. Once you've gone to step 5 now, you need to figure out how many of each. Think of one inverter as 5 kilowatts of power, and think of one battery as 10 kilowatt hours of energy storage. And we need enough of both of these to meet the needs of our homeowners. Okay, so looking now at this, that means I need, 4 to 5 batteries, because that would be between 40 and 50 kilowatt hours. And I need then, only one inverter, right, Mark? No. You must be very sure you are accounting for the surge ratings of these appliances. A surge is when you turn anything on. When you turn on a light switch in your home and it just turns on, there is an initial surge current. It's only for a few seconds, but it is significant. So you need to be mindful of this. And what we recommend you do is just double the amount of power in inverters that you're going to need. So for here, if I need 4.6, that means I need double that. That means I need enough for 9.2. That would be 2 inverters. Oh, got a little ahead of myself there, guys. So the equipment would be 2, actually, I think I got these slides mixed. Sorry, guys. So the equipment would be 2 Energy Hub 7600 inverters, because again, we need enough for the surge as well. So double what the power tells me. We need 1 backup interface, and I'm recommending 4 Resus. A lot of you are probably wondering, Mark, why is it 4 and not 5? Well, let's look back at those appliances that we wanted to run. So look at the appliances the homeowner's trying to run. And remember what I told you before, the power rating of an appliance is how many watts it uses every single hour. And in our calculation or our simulation, we ran that we need enough batteries to run all of these for 10 total hours. So what you want to do first is just go back and see, is there anything on this list though that might not run for 10 whole hours? And I see one right away, the garage door. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really think you're going to run your garage door for 10 total hours of a day. You're probably looking at 10, 30 minutes, depending on how much you're going to leave, and probably not leaving too often during a grid outage anyway. So something you don't need to necessarily be counting for 10 total hours for. Also, I'm looking at the central air conditioning. As you can see, just based on this list, that's what's consuming the bulk of our power here. But again, am I going to run that for 10 whole hours? You don't need to, because during the daytime, you can run the air conditioning on your solar system. That can keep your house nice and comfortable. And instead of running my AC for 10 total hours, why don't we run it for 3 to 5 hours instead? Conserve a little bit of the energy storage. And in that situation, if they did that, they would be more than enough to get them through an outage with 4 Resus. So what I'm telling you guys is, just because it says you should throw all these batteries on there doesn't necessarily mean that is how we should do it. You know, use a little bit of common sense, check your work, because maybe your homeowner doesn't want to spend the extra money for a whole nother inverter and a whole nother battery, but they still want to have peace of mind that the system's going to work the way they'd like to. Well, it can. You just need to explain to them, all right, if we go with 4 batteries, then in this situation, you just got to be a little careful of how you run your air conditioning at night. And as long as you do that, no problems whatsoever. So here's what that equipment would look like as far as, on the home. Again, 4 batteries, 2 Energy Hub 7600 inverters. And the reason I'm recommending that one, guys, is number 1, it's got the most power that you're going to want. And 2, I believe that's the only one you guys are going to be offering actually for your proposals, at least for now. So just keep it simple. 7600 Energy Hub inverter is what you want to go with. So we'll get 2 of those all in one backup interface. We'll be able to keep all of these things going, no problem. And we'll have about this much power and this much storage. I think any homeowner looking for a solar and storage solution to protect themselves from grid outages would be very happy with this setup. But it doesn't even end there though. There are more benefits to this inverter and backup interface that let's touch on. What if you have a homeowner that really wants to charge an EV from the solar system or even their batteries? Well, what you can do now with Energy Hub is you can plug in the new smart EV charger from SolarEdge, and you can now take DC power that's coming from the roof and directly charge the electric vehicle. And this is actually being said that it's going to be faster than level 2 charging. So very efficient use of using your solar system to keep your car running. You know, pulling it from the battery, sure, but the batteries on these electric vehicles, especially a fully electric one, is a lot bigger than 1 or 2 batteries that go on the home. So better to use the solar to charge your car and use your batteries to keep your house running. What if you have a homeowner that really wants a generator? This is definitely something that gets brought up in conversation a lot when you start to look into home storage. A generator can be plugged in to the backup interface, and that can do 2 things for us now. That can, number 1, recharge the batteries if for some reason I didn't have a lot of PV production during the day and the grid's down. Or 2, it can keep more robust appliances running. You can fit up to a 15 kilowatt generator onto the new equipment. That feature is not available yet though. I want to be very clear. I've spoken with SolarEdge. It will be available Q4. So not just yet, but it will be there. And this is super beneficial, guys, because you at Power, I know you guys can sell all over the country. And if you have a homeowner that's in an area of the country where the winter months are where they lose electricity, and there's a lot of snowstorms and there's not a lot of sunlight, well, we can run into a situation where the solar wasn't strong enough to recharge the batteries. But now the generator can come in and supplement them. In the past, whenever you have a generator with your solar system, they usually have to be separated. But now we can smartly integrate both.
There's a quick question here from Jamie that says, when can SolarEdge inverters allow the ability for the EV car battery backup the home, or will SolarEdge inverters allow the ability for the EV car battery backup the home at night? I think that's what she's asking.
I believe that question is about taking, like, it's called vehicle to grid, I believe is what they're asking. Is that where they're saying they want to take the energy from their car and charge the batteries? Yeah.
Yes.
So that function should be built out eventually. It's definitely becoming more popular, but that would need to come from SolarEdge. I can't comment. I actually don't know, but I would imagine absolutely is something that they're working on because there's a lot of benefits to that. Absolutely.
And then Tom has the question, will the ability to add generator be a software update in Q4 or like a model change?
It's a software. There's already the hardware's in there, the input's there. It's just not, you just can't start it yet. So it's just a software update.
Larry, expand on your question. Do we need a battery with new hub to charge during the day? What do you mean, Larry? You can unmute. Oh, wait, you can't unmute yourself. Hold on.
I think what he's asking is, can I use my solar system to run my appliances on the current equipment? And the answer is yes. That it's still the same. During the daytime, when you have a solar system and storage, no matter what battery or inverter you're using, during the daytime, the solar system is what's keeping the appliances running, and the excess energy that would normally go to the grid for NEM credits, that excess energy is being used to charge the batteries.
Gregory is asking, is the EV charging an additional interface or is it a direct connect? That's usually a separate thing that you have to charge for in the adders, Gregory.
Yes.
If you don't know, work with a mentor on that. Kati, I don't believe there are plans to integrate with Enphase. We've definitely put out some reminders to people to not use the Enphase inverters when they're including an LG Chem battery. Enphase is coming out with their own competing products, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and actually they're already out. Yeah,
we don't have access to those right now, so don't even ask.
It's a lot like Tesla right now. Anyway, you couldn't get it even if you wanted it.
Right. So, and the next person that asks me about Ensemble, I'm gonna throw a shoe at you. We don't have it yet. It's not something that's in our plans for at least the next few months. So don't even bother. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll let you finish up here, and it's back to you, dude.
Yeah, totally. I'm actually just about done, so this is good timing. So let's compare both of these solutions now. If we have a resu or multiple resus with energy hubs, what does that look like in comparison to Powerwall? Well, the resu and energy hub is using proprietary battery cell technology. You all know LG Chem, we make our own cells. We've been doing it for years. Powerwall from Tesla, they buy their cells from other manufacturers. If you want to know right now why you can't get your hands on a Tesla Powerwall, it's because they can't get their hands on battery cells because they don't make them. They have to buy them. They are dependent on the supply chain. LG Chem is the supply chain. Number two, you can't charge your EV directly from your solar system with a Tesla Powerwall, but you can do that with Energy Hub and Resu. Both of these, yes, can do, quote, whole home backup, and you'll see the asterisk next to both. That's not something we at LG Chem promote a lot because it's extremely misleading and it's a completely incomplete statement. So if you have a homeowner saying, I want to back up my whole home, sure, but let's talk about this. Let's back up maybe a few things instead. You guys know what to say. There's no generator support with Powerwall. Those have to be completely separate, but with Energy Hub and Resu, you can integrate them. Resu and Energy Hub is DC coupled, so it's more efficient than a Powerwall. Efficiency is very important when you have a lot of batteries. The efficiency of this system that tells you how efficiently it converts PV into stored energy. So more efficiency, the better. And then the last thing, and that's a really nice advantage to this solution, is there's just one monitoring app. Powerwall, sometimes, a lot of times, the Powerwall is on its own app, and then the solar is on a whole separate app. And I personally have app fatigue these days. I cannot keep track of all the apps I have to download every day. So just having one to manage my whole solar and storage system is just a really nice benefit to the homeowner.
And I want to add in some stuff here, especially for those of you that are coming in from California. We did get some really good news recently, just this week actually, that we are now considered a developer in the SGIP for California. Yoo-hoo, for those of you that have been waiting to process SGIP applications. When it's LG Chem and only LG Chem, we will have a solution in place for processing SGIP. This solution has not rolled out yet. We are still working with LG Chem's team on what it's going to be, because there is going to be a charge if we end up using a third-party auditor. So just be aware there will be like a $500 application process. I'm working with our operations team about seeing if we can just add this as an adder into the proposals for California or into the product price for LG Chem, so that it's just all built in. Again, SGIP is self-generation incentive program, and it's in California specifically, is the one I'm referring to. So again, for those that are mentors and sales reps in California, this is huge news. Be aware we are listed as a developer now. I know, Carol, that you're super well versed at processing your own applications, so you can now list Power as a developer. But more will come on this. More will come on this whole process. And again, this is only when you have an LG Chem battery assigned to your project. This is not going to be available with Powerwall, even though we're not selling those right now, or Enphase. So just be aware, this is only when you're doing it with LG Chem, because they're the ones that are putting in the work and the time to help us process these applications. So cool. Anything else, Mark, that you want to add in here?
Yes, to help simplify it for you guys.
There we go.
This has been highly requested, so I'm very happy to be showing you guys this now. So I just showed you the complicated way of determining how many batteries and inverters you need. I do strongly recommend that if you want to be technical and specific, you go that route. But hey, we're in this virtual world now. A lot of you are trying to get proposals out quickly to get the homeowner interested. We get it. So follow these packages, but do not necessarily think this is the absolute given scenario. They might need to change after a site survey. So I just want to make that clear. But for all things considered, you should be fine with these setups. So in your discoveries, you need to understand what the homeowner is looking to power. Are they looking for essentials? Are they looking for flexibility? Are they looking to just power everything? If you have a homeowner looking for just their essentials, they just want the cheapest and most efficient solution for them, and they don't care about their air conditioning, they don't care about those heavy appliances, go with this package. That's one 7600, one interface, and 1 to 2 batteries. You determine how many batteries based on the homeowner. I would just lead with 2 because it's more expensive, and if they have problems with the price, just take one off. Flexible home. I see this being the most popular option, and in a few alpha test runs we've done with some installers, this has been the most popular option. So a flexible home. This is going to be, you want all the rooms and lights and outlets in your house done, no problem. We can get every outlet going, every single light bulb, no problem. But we can only do one compatible large appliance with this, and I'm sure you all know what they're probably going to choose. That's the air conditioning, okay? So one compatible large appliance, you're good to go. I'm working on getting you guys a more technical list of compatible appliances. Air conditionings, no problem for the vast majority, especially out here in California, will not be any issues. But I will make sure I get you guys something concrete with that. So with a flexible home solution, all rooms and lights with outlets, one compatible large appliances. The only thing here is that we recommend to have at least 6 kilowatts of PV if you're going to go with this. And why do you need more PV? Maybe it's because we need enough energy during the day to recharge the batteries and power these essential loads. So just make sure you have at least 6 kilowatts if you're going for a flexible home. Again, how many resos? Minimum of 2. Most people are going with 3 to 4 though when we offer this solution. So again, my recommendation is just start with the biggest and most expensive for these packages, so 4 resos. And if they have price objections, try to overcome them or just take resos off.
And remember, you only have so much room for batteries on a loan. Okay, so make sure you understand your loan provider if you're using a loan for when you're stacking multiple batteries. Make sure you're not going over what they allow and what they'll finance, basically. So please review Sunlight and Loan Pal training as well, all on Power Resources.
Yes, that's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, make sure, because I know they kind of cap it at price per watt on a lot of the financiers. Yes, make sure you're not going above that.
Andrew's asking is there like a formula for kilowatt hour PV per battery?
It's very tough to give you that because PV production is dependent on a lot of factors that we just can't, like weather is a big one. I'd be happy to discuss that in a separate call with him in more detail, but no, there's no like just quick tool for that right now.
Fair enough. All right. Is there more here, you guys? You have some more to wrap up, or are we kind of in closing on this now?
Just, I want to announce this. I believe
yes.
A few people have already done this, which is great. I think a few on the call are already professionals. Fantastic if you are. Thank you, guys. But we have a professional academy. It's an online training academy. I've said that a lot. If you like the style of my trainings, you'll love this. Basically, you just enroll. It's free. There's 6 lessons now, and actually one of them is this slide deck I just showed you guys. If you complete the first 4 lessons, though, and pass the short exams, you get a certificate from us, an actual certificate that says you're certified to sell the product. And that's very helpful in a sale to make you just make you sound, like you know what you're talking about. But anyway, you get access as well to the Resu Professional site. There's a lot of materials on there, videos. We're starting to roll out points and prizes very soon. We just finished one contest. We're going to start another one in September, and you can boost your personal brand by this. So I would highly encourage anyone who's interested in selling more batteries, just go through these lessons. They're very short-paced, quick, and easy to access. They're meant to be for you guys. So if you want to enroll, take lessons 1 through 4, pass 100%, email me. Rachel, I believe you have the link, but I'm happy to send you that again just so you can have that at the top of your email inbox. But yeah, would love to get as many of you guys in there as possible. So yeah, please enroll.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I have it all listed on the training pages that we've already done where they can go and sign up to get the Academy access. For those that are asking questions, Gregory, you have a pretty technical question. Before we go into answering those kind of questions, go through the training first. If you already did, then I'm going to let your question be asked because I don't know what this question is. Does the BUI interface directly with the MSP, letting the homeowner select certain items via the CB?
No, great question. So
there's the CB moved to, I don't know what the hell this is. So go for it.
I got it. Now he's wondering if you need to install a sub panel. It depends. So
you could have just said that, dude.
So there's 2 types of backup interfaces. There's one called a service side and then one called a line side connection. And basically For you guys, if they're looking for that flexible home, you're not going to have to worry about selecting circuits and all that stuff because you're going to use a different type of backup interface that has a 200 amp service and a 40 amp breaker right there. If they want that essential load, yes, you still need to do the sub panel, pick which circuits, be a little like selective. The homeowner cannot remotely control the circuits by any means with these solutions. Like I can't just like on my app say turn that circuit off, if that's what he was maybe getting at too.
Okay, good. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, no, I think it's going to be hard tied to whatever they choose up front when they install it. Um, Thank you again, Mark, for joining today's session. Really, really appreciate it. You guys, thank you for joining. Please stick around. I'm going to take over the screen real quick.
Yeah,
Mark,
definitely.
I'm going to take over the screen because I need to go over. Ugh, bunch of crap. Hold on, let me pull up my other screen so that I can just one more time go over this notes feature. JB, our CEO, just posted on Power Pioneers. If you're not on Power Pioneers, get invited to that. You usually have to get invited from a active consultant that's on there or your sponsor. Make sure that you are on there. But again, I just kind of want to read off some really important information that he just posted, just some reminders here. As you can see, if you logged into your Power Back Office, we posted a new feature last night called the Inbox. We have also changed notes to Messenger, gearing up for upcoming features, which will enhance how communication happens on the platform. And here are the key takeaways that you need to know. When leaving a communication, you can now open what is called an issue. If you need a response to a communication, it is best to open an issue and assign it to the appropriate party. It's really important, though, that you guys, that when you assign an issue to somebody, try not to assign the general thing when you have a coordinator assigned. Only assign it to your coordinator. If you assign it to operations support or sales support, then it's going to get buried. So it's very important that you are assigning an issue when you have one. Let's say I needed to assign an issue and I'm signing this back to the rep, that I choose the specific person you want to talk to. Otherwise, your note can get buried. So know who your project coordinator is. This is extremely handy when your project is in post-sale status. In pre-sale status, only assign an issue or only assign a note or tag a note to pre-sales communication when you're talking about a proposal that you just requested or a revision request that you need. Please do not send it to sales support because again, right now that's assigned to multiple roles and it's going to get lost and buried. As you can see here, I've already, because I'm under sales support, I'm going to remove myself from that. I'm already up to like 3,000, 2,000 some odd nodes, and it's just going to get bigger. I need to get that cleaned out or they're always going to get buried. So be aware right now that when you're using this issue feature, that it is specifically for something and to someone specific when a response is required. And then what it'll do is post it with a flag here at the top of their inbox, and they'll be able to go through those. We expect this to improve response times dramatically on urgent items. Again, this is for urgent items. Operations team, number 2, operations team members can also open an issue and assign it to you. So if you're one of those reps that didn't turn in your utility bill and you should have, just know that they're going to assign an issue to you, that you are going to get a notification that something has been assigned to you and that is going to require your immediate response. This means if there is an urgent action required on your part, it will be posted to the top of your inbox. This should help you to be able to prioritize exactly what you need to resolve this project. All of this is all with the idea in mind that we're going to get your job to the install. And number 3, the only time you should open an issue is if you absolutely need a response on something. If you don't need a response and you are simply leaving some details about the project or future notes or whatever it might be, you can simply just leave a note on your project. It's not going to get looked at. It's not going to get a response, but let's say you're just uploading a driver's license, tag who you know needs to see that, but don't make it an urgent issue. Say, please see pre-sales communication, driver license uploaded. and then they'll know to go look for it. They will scrape through these, but it won't require a response from them. To summarize, open an issue if you need a response to something and assign it to the appropriate party. If you don't need a response, do not open an issue and just leave it as a normal note. Lastly, there are a few quirky bugs that have slipped through with this last push of new code to the production. Just refresh the page if data isn't updating properly or any other funky little items you notice. Again, it's a rollout day, so stuff is definitely happening funky. The team will have it cleaned up shortly, but we're seeing a simple refresh clears most of the issues. It looks to be some kind of like caching bug. So when in doubt, go into your browser, click on your settings, and clear your browsing history. Go into here, cache and clear your browsing history on your browser, okay? Again, Mark, are you still here? Did you bounce? Mark, you're still here.
I'm still
Sweet.
here.
Awesome. So we're seeing a lot of points in here about folks saying thank you and great overview. We do thank you for joining today's session and really appreciate all the time that you take. And I hope we see that in converted sales for LG Chem batteries here because they are awesome. Now I'm just going to go start answering a couple of quick questions here that I see in the notes. And Andy, you've already gotten them. So yeah, if you have a mentor that you'd like to see change, all mentors, once they're assigned to a project, are the ones that have to get release the project essentially. So you need to have the mentor email me at presales@power.com and say, please remove me from X projects. If you have a further issue with that mentor, you can email me directly and I'll try to look into the issue and see if it warrants me removing the mentor. So let's see, Energy Hub inverter is supposed to be added to our proposals in the equipment list. I'm not exactly sure yet what the title of that equipment is going to be. I'm waiting for operations director Matt Gordon to update us, but that push is expected to come in the next 24 hours, actually 24 to 48 hours max. So they're working on it right now. So that is definitely something that they're working on. Hey, Seuss, any issues with commissions, you have to keep sending it to support@power.com. We do not answer any commission issues or questions in pre-sales. Now that you have this feature in here on your project, you can go ahead and test it out. Hey, Seuss, go to your project. Actually, I just logged out of mine. Find your project in your project list. And in this case, because it's commission related, let me find one of my, I don't even know if I have let me find this one. All right, so if you have a commission related question and it requires a response, assign that issue to, well, technically Beth Robinson is the support manager, but I believe there are support reps on her team. I don't see one that's just for general support, so we'll have to ask them about that. But in this case, you would assign it to Beth, put in your issue, and it should show up in her top of her inbox. However, like I said, this is fairly new process and project, so I'm not even sure if Beth is logging into her own platform right now to see those issues. So again, I can't answer any commission related questions, and I will always refer you guys back to support@power.com to create a ticket. Let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and now the session is ended. However, I do see a few private messages coming to me on the chat window, so let me go ahead and take a quick look at that, and I'll see if I can answer those right now. Monday because in health my contract I sold and so Lisa Manson, send that issue to me in presales@power.com. You're going to have to follow the change order process. I will send you a link to how to do a change order so that you can resell that with the proper equipment and get a new contract created. If you have a mentor on that project, you need to be working with your mentor on that, but it is going to require a change order when you use the wrong equipment. So that's probably what post sales is asking you to do. So let me go ahead and I'm going to send this right to you, Lisa. And that isn't a private message. It's how to do a change order. Is there any other questions, Andy, that you see in the chat window that need my attention right now? I'm not seeing any besides Lisa's.
No, I think we're good. We have the SGIP maestra, Carol Cole Lewis, answering questions on that, which is fantastic.
And a
Um,
big thing on SGIP, you guys in California, don't ever promise that they're going to get it. It is a tiered related bucket, and it's kind of a first come, first serve thing, and it's never something that you should guarantee a customer is going to get.
Hey,
Hope that
Rachel,
makes sense. Yeah,
quick question, just so
sure.
I understand. So the Energy Hub can replace, like, say, the 7600A-US.
Yes.
Okay.
When it becomes available, if it's something that becomes available and you just sold a deal, but it has a 7600A, I mean, we'd like to not have to change equipment and slow your project
No,
down, but if it hasn't gone to permit stage, I mean, you could technically
I
follow the
don't want
change
to do
order.
that. I just want to look at from moving forward. I just want to make sure that I understood that we didn't
I
need to.
don't know what the title is going to be. That's what I just mentioned. I've been
Okay.
asking Matt Gordon what the title of that equipment's going to be on the proposals, and he hasn't given me an answer yet. I'm
Okay.
thinking it's going to be, you're definitely going to notice it on there, but I'm just waiting for him to announce when that change is going to be on proposals. It should be retroactive. They're close to the same cost from what I understand as the 7600As. This will not replace 3800As for those smaller systems, but most of you guys don't use an LG Chem on a tiny system
They
anyways.
don't work, doesn't work well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to be an issue, but it is coming again. I don't know exactly how they're going to label it on the equipment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. As soon as I know, though, I'll probably post it on Pioneers or something. All right. I am not seeing any new questions. Andy, did you want to add anything before we end today's session?
yeah, I just want to keep beating the drum of the fortunes on the front end. Something that I'll tattoo somewhere, but the fortunes on the front end. What that means is, guys, you're professional solar consultants. You're here, we're all here to get solar on roofs quicker and everybody get paid quicker. The more work you do on the front end to achieve that yourselves, the better we all are. So no more fake emails for customers as placeholders, no crappy utility bills. A crappy utility bill takes hours on the back end, and because it goes through the various installers to the utilities, you're talking, by your not submitting a good utility bill on the front end, you can budget at least 1 to 2 weeks on the back end of delay. By the time it all gets noticed and chased around and found and the homeowner gets it to you. So the more you do on the front end, the better. Just keep it really, really pro level, and we'll get so much more done, so many more homes installed, and so much more money flowing through this whole system. Fortunes on the front end.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Andy, for that. I have a couple of texts that are coming through here too as well. For getting added to the Power Pioneers, you should be getting invited by your sponsor or your team leaders, somebody in there. You guys have to technically be friends on Facebook, and then they invite you, and then we have a team that scrapes through these invitations and makes sure that you are a active sales rep with Power before they allow you into the Power Pioneers. It is a closed private Facebook group. The other thing too, you guys, I want to mention that if you go to Power Resources, I'm going to share my screen one more time for those especially that are still sticking around here. Power Resources, it's really just like our blog site where we keep my I manage the site and I try to update it as often as I can. However, I made a couple quick changes. This is where we're always going to refer you to get your questions answered. So if you're wondering what our contact information is and the turnaround time, just go to Power Resources. The link is in your dashboard. Click on Power Resources. It's going to take you to the page. You have to be logged in to your dashboard to get here. Make sure that you click on the contact information and download that, save it to your computer, bookmark it, whatever you need to do. This gives you all the information on who to contact for what. So again, please make sure you're saving this. Make sure that you are going to the contact information, that you understand who you should be reaching out to for whatever the situations are. Now that we have the inbox feature, though, we should see a lot less emails to your post-sales team, and you should be, again, leaving an urgent inbox note if you have an issue that needs a response, specifically if it requires a response. If it's just uploading or communicating general information like normal, like I just uploaded DocSign notice, that doesn't need a response. So do not make that an urgent issue. It will bog things down. So let me go ahead. I'm going to put it in the chat window real quick. This is a quick message to the contact page. In notes, the right way to request a cash proposal on an already existing proposal? No, notes is not the right way to request a cash proposal on an already existing proposal. The right way is to do check if your proposal is expired or not. This is a question from Roberto. Make sure your proposal is not expired and follow the change order process. If it is an expired proposal, then you will need to go and get a new updated link. You need to basically follow the change order process. So make sure you're getting an updated link first, that it's not something with expired pricing or anything like that, and follow the change order process and change it from there. But do not do that in notes. That will not generate an action. That's going to be on you to get it done correctly. Awesome. All right, you guys, have a great day. Let me know if you guys need anything, and we'll be here to support you. Again, the best way to get an action or response from pre-sales on the sales support side is to text us at 619-320-4770 during our operation hours. We will see that text, include your name, your customer's name, and what your issue is, and we'll be able to look into it for you a lot faster. Please stick to that process when you're communicating with sales support. It is the best way to get an answer for you quickly. All right. You guys have a great day. We're going to end today's session. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you.